hit that like button because I see you in here. You know, these them 504 cut hats. Nice. You can get them on YouTube in the store, YouTube store. Now let's get into China and Russia, right? China and Russia. They are putting together BRICS. As many nations coming together for the East, China, Russia, Iran, and other individuals. They're coming together and they're starting their own monetary system, right? They're starting their own monetary system. China and Russia are the two powerhouses that's coming together to start their own monetary system. Um, they want to weaken the U.S. dollar, and let me tell you why. Right? You see, whenever things don't go the United States way, the United States they throw tariffs on people. Right? They stop trades. Salute, salute. They stop trades with different countries and they harm other countries. Right? And this all began in 2020 when China was making China was making like $300 billion a year or $300 trillion. My number's not accurate, but they was making along the range of billions of trillions more in trade than America was making with trade with China. So it was a large deficit. So Trump, he came in office and was like, "This ain't right." But little did Trump know at the time Hunter Biden was working with China on different things. So he was making money with China, like a business partner. So what transpired is Trump put tariffs on China, right? Now, American presidents, they never, ever in history of America, if they had an issue with China, they never sparked the issue of Russia. If they had an issue with Russia, they never sparked the issue with China at the same time. Okay? So with those torps, salute Priscilla, salute Nikhil. With those torps, America started gaining weight, economy booming. Everything. China was feeling the financial losses with those tarps because they were not making as much money off trade with America as they once was making. Right? And this is what I'm gonna tell you how this all the game, how it all plays into. So China got pissed off, right? Because it was like 2 years in. China got pissed off and they was not making that same money. So then the invisible enemy came, right? Invisible enemy came. Because see, if you don't have that invisible enemy, a lot of things that happen and down the Trump presidential when he was the president, a lot of those things don't transpire. Donald Trump is a two-term president if the invisible enemy don't happen. You see, you don't have the lockdowns, you don't have all these different things. So the invisible enemy happened and it messed up the economy everywhere. Salute Andrew. It messed up the economy for the whole world. You see, and China was the number one trade partner in the world with every country. You see? So what China did was when that invisible enemy came out, see, we seen the nerve gas that Kim Won had that people can just spray and people just, stop living. We seen these things. We know they got nerve gases and all these kinds of things. Matter of fact, the invisible enemy is similar to nerve gas. It's similar to nerve gas, right? Because it comes in spurs. 1 minute is not doing anything. Next minute is doing so much, right? So it's similar to nerve gas, and nerve gas is created in the lab, by the way. So I bring you guys down the history of how we get where we at. So the United States flip on Trump because people locked down, fed up, not understanding that it was the United States and China in a turf war. It was already an unsound war in trading goods. and the United States was winning that battle. So the invisible enemy came out because they had to get Trump out of office. You know, they had to get Trump out of office, right? So they came up with who they wanted to come up with to be the candidate. Coincidentally, Biden, son Hunter, have relationships with China and dealings with China. So pretty much they kind of came together, you know, and things transpired to the point where they got Trump out of office, you know, and they utilized the strongest point, and the strongest point. If you want to have anybody flip upside down, all you gotta do is play the race card, and they utilize the race card with Trump as the president. You know, that's the card they went for. That's the angle they went. That's the card they use. And let's move forward. So now Trump battering the citizens within his own country. He's battling China, and seemed like the only ally Trump have is Russia at this time. So like that's the only ally he have is Russia, which is Putin, right? So, boom. Now, TARP still going on, trade still going on. So America is really coming together. They're starting to build manufacturing back in America. They're starting to do all these different things. Businesses is getting taxed if they take the business overseas because their profit is coming back from America. So, you know, different things are transpiring in the country, in America, right? Okay, so then Invisible Enemy shut down everything. Everything. All these graphic pictures started coming out of China first, showing that, salute Isaiah, showing that showing people walking and falling and press the elevator button behind somebody collapse, and people in white suits and hazmatic suits and things of that nature. So, you know, instant views of these imagery, you know, it was gonna make people salute, much respect, Isaiah. You know, these imageries was gonna definitely touch the mind of people. So people became frantic and schizophrenic and started going to the stores and copying, they were buying things and fighting at the stores and doing this and doing that, you know, and it became a shit show, you know, and as you know it, the United States was collapsing before the world eyes, you know, losing respect, collapsing. And all that falls on who's the leader at that point of time for the country, who was chosen to be the leader, which was Trump, right? Never mind the first 3 years, you know, what America was doing underneath him. Never mind that. It's all about that last year. It's all about that last year, the last couple of months into that last year. And this is how you know that Trump had pissed off some elite people. Salute, Catherine. You know. So after Invisible Enemy shut down every country, all citizens was locked in and couldn't leave outside, but we seeing politicians and things of that nature still have parties and celebrating and doing all these. Boris Johnson is an example. They're still hosting events, they're still doing things, but they're telling you that you can't come outside, you can't do this, you can't do that. Only essential workers can work and do this, you know. And so people start feeling like they was trapped up in their house. But a lot of people utilize their time and jump on the internet and started connecting with one another. I'm not saying Trump is for us, Douglas. You got to hear what I'm saying. You got to listen to me to understand what I'm saying. A lot of people start jumping on the internet and they open up their third eye, and that third eye was we in slavery. You know, they opened up the third eye and it was like we in slavery, and so it became a nature that our freedom became hinged on all citizens, everybody walks of life. You know, the government was trying to stop this and stop that and tell you what to do and tell you what you can't do. And so happens Trump was the president. Trump created the vaccination. You know, he created the vaccination, you know, warp speed. But, you know, the key point about Trump was that he did not enforce mandates for you to be mandated to for the vaccination. But yes, he created it, right? So now we got an election, right? Never mind the fact that Never mind the fact that the world is in chaos. Everything is going on. We got an election, right? Rather, a selection again. So they tell you, see, people don't realize this. The same thing happened to Trump, happened to Hillary Clinton when Trump became president. See, Hillary won the popular vote, but Trump won the votes, the electoral votes. Same thing happened. Same exact thing happened, right? So people hit the streets with Hillary when she ran with Trump. You know, people hit the streets when Trump lost. You know, when they gave it to Biden, not realizing that, you know, millions and millions and millions of people go vote. That's just the popular vote. You know, that vote don't count. The vote that counts is the electoral. You know, it's 20 is 10 to 15 people in each state that vote actually count. You know, millions and millions of people vote don't count. You know, they tell you your vote count, but your vote actually don't count. Your vote count on a local platform, but a presidential seat, nah. So now the whole country is in chaos, right? Trump lost, right? You got January 6th. Biden was selected, right? Meanwhile, this whole trade war that Trump had put on China, right? Biden's son is locked in with China, right? Trump wanted to build a wall. People were saying that they used the race card. Nah, he want to build a wall to lock us in here, to keep us in for what's coming. Everybody on that doomsday shit, you know, Trump want to lock us in, right? Needed $5 more million to continue building the wall for the border of America and Mexico, right? So then we get Biden in office, right? The whole time Putin been chilling. Whole time he ain't touch Ukraine at all. So we get Biden in office, right? Biden ain't been in office a good year. Ukraine tell Biden, hey, you know, just back off. You know, and we won't do this. Like I said, no president in American history ever, you know, challenged China and Russia at the same time. They always was an ally with one or the other, you know, and they came to the table utilizing one of them to help them, you know, bring peace with the other country. They never had China and Russia to come together at one time on America. Never happened before. So now China already pissed off because they was losing a torque battle to United States. China went over to Russia, got with Russia, and told Putin, you ain't tired of the United States telling us what to do? Salute D-Man 50. You ain't tired of the United States telling us what to do? So now they done teamed up. China sitting back, watching Russia. Meanwhile, the whole time, Russia and China's coming up with their own little NATO. BRICS. They're building their own NATO, right? Which involve many countries. This is what they don't tell you. See, China and Russia have a NATO also. You just hear NATO all over main media. But you don't not hear them talk about the allies that China and Russia have within their little NATO organization. Right? Now I'm saying NATO so people understand it's two NATOs. Got China, Russia NATO, and some other countries, and you got America, Canada, and all them. So it's crazy. Okay. Now, China sit back and just played the cards. And they told Russia, because Russia arrogant, you make the first move. You make the first move. We got a relationship with Biden, so you make the first move. We're going to put Biden, we're going to help get Biden in that seat, but you make the first move after we get him in that seat because Biden owed us something because what we done for his son. So we could buy time on that one. So Russia, they go in Ukraine now. Never thought about going to Ukraine when Trump was in office, but they went in Ukraine while Biden in office, right? Boom. So now Russia's in Ukraine. You get Zelensky every 35 minutes on TV saying he need more help from America. Not the countries around him, not no other country. He need more help from America. So America then turn around, give him billions and billions and billions of dollars. I think it's close to $700 billion, if I'm not mistaken. And the inflation in America is just destroying the country. Right? Destroying the country. This is the game. I'm just walking on this timeline. I'm gonna come to the comments. Destroying the country. Gas prices go up. People now, America is in a recession because they didn't put so much money into Russia. I mean, into Ukraine. So much money into Ukraine. America is in a recession, and none of the main media outlets nor Joe Biden want to announce it. There's food shortages everywhere. There's water shortages in the whole 9 yards. Now, this thing with Russia and Ukraine ain't stopping no time soon. Putin could have been just went in and just say, you know what, we're gonna do this in 2 weeks. That's how much fighting power he have. But what he did was he made America economy tumble because he utilized his ally with China and the other countries, understanding that America utilized a lot of the oil from overseas. Because the first thing Joe Biden did was shut down local oil resources in America. Right? So now, shutting down the pipeline, it made gas prices go bananas, which made inflation on the food prices go bananas, which made truckers can't afford to get the diesel that they need, while you already in a trade war with China that Trump had going on, that China and Russia got together. Russia controlled most of all the oil, natural gas, and countries have aligned, and you are helping another country that's over there to try to, make it make sense. Right? So now let me finish. So then you got the little guy in Canada. He following everything that Joe Biden tried to do in America in Canada. Everything. It's like he's Joe Biden's little son. He's trying to do everything that Joe Biden has done. Then you got the WEF, World Economic Formula, who's saying that the earth is overpopulated and saying that the earth need to be depopulated by a certain amount of numbers of people. Then you got the Georgia Guidestones, something that's 24/7 surveillance, just miraculously just get taken out. One of the stones. Clearly, just get taken out. Then you got Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, and all these guys buying up all of the farmland. Meanwhile, everybody on lockdowns or coming off lockdowns, they buying up all of the farmland. Then Joe Biden signed a bill that said he was going to pay farmers to not produce. Then you got the sun, where you got farmers now trying to hurry up and sell their livestock because they can't afford to keep up with the stuff that they need, the supplies they need, because it's so high for the livestock saying the livestock gonna die if they don't get rid of it. Yes, I'm going there. I'm going there. Then you got all these diseases, viruses rather. One come and it's only with interactions between two males. Then all of a sudden, 2-3 weeks later, you saying that 2 kids been confirmed with it right before a month before school start in America. 2 kids been confirmed with it. But ain't no adults got arrested for tampering with kids if it only transmit through man to man. Then you got Nancy Pelosi, even though China have not went in Taiwan and say that they're not gonna go if you just stay away. You got Nancy Pelosi wanting to test China and still go to Taiwan, even though the military is telling her not to go. She still want to go and test China. Now, either all this has happened in the last 2 years, because guys, Joe Biden only been a president for a year and a half. He only been selected as president a year and a half. So you mean to tell me in 2 years total time, the world has seen all this crazy shit in 2 years? Every country protesting? Every country just about protesting? Guys, I don't think you guys understand what I'm saying. I don't think you understand what I'm saying. Like all this in 2 years, water shortages, a scarce of food, the elite buying up all the farmland, Russia and China that came together, imagery coming out of China, even though they got a firewall. I don't think you guys understand what I'm saying. Like, I basically just went through the whole past 2 years in a summary, and it ain't been nothing good. It has not been nothing good for the world. Nothing good. I mean, nothing good. And all this because you know what? I'm gonna come to the comment section and I want to ask this question, right? I'm gonna ask this question and I want everybody in the comment section to put a comment and make this make sense to me. You guys read about kings and queens in books. We all read about kings and queens in books. We all read that kings and queens, they conquered one another territory, right? So if kings and queens existed back in the day and all they did was conquer one another territory, wouldn't that mean that since we have a queen in modern day time, that she run the world, that she didn't conquer every other king and queen? Now I'm gonna sit back and I just want to absolutely see that comment, y'all comments, because we all read about them in the books, right? So wouldn't that mean that the queen actually have conquered the entire world and she actually governed the whole world? Because if kings and queens conquer one another for territorial space, why do we still have a queen in modern day time? I just want to know. So that goes back to what I'm saying when I say elites running the world. So I'm gonna sit back and watch the comments. I just want to know if that makes sense. Because they said kings and queens conquered one another. They took over and they made the people servants of them, and then they imprisoned the ones who was not compliant, or either they took their life. So I'm trying to figure out, this queen must run the whole world behind the scenes. She thinks she's God. Do exactly. She thinks she God. Do it exactly that God. Not that she like God. Oh, she claimed to be a descendant. I'm just really just I just really think this makes sense to me. Tearing up. Oh wow. Oh wow. I'm just trying to figure it out because when I first got on YouTube, I had these discussions and I said that, would you rather have money or be royal? And a lot of people was like, they rather have the money, but royal don't have a value. You see, that's this the part that gets me. This is the part that get me because I walked down the whole 2 year timeline and I'm trying to figure this out because every president of every country is running a corporation. America is a corporation. Every country have a president who sits at the seat to run that corporation. So who own those corporations of those countries? Who own the governments of those countries? Because the damn sure don't seem like the people, because the governments do not do what the people say. The governments look like they have been ignoring the people around the world. If you look at the protests, does that make sense? Look like the government's been ignoring the people across the world. Australia, Austria, Switzerland, America, Canada, the Netherlands. Uh, I mean, I can go on and on. Look like they have been ignoring the people around the world. So if the governments have presidents and secretaries and vice presidents, the same thing as any corporation have. Who owned the corporation? I'm not gonna go watch nobody else channel, Douglas. I'm asking you to tell me. If you watched it, you tell me. Who owned the corporations? Oh, it's on China, Bill Gates. Yes, I just spoke on that. They own up all the farmland. I spoke on it. But right now my question is, who own the presidents or the leaders of corporations? This is why every certain amount of years they have to have another selection come through, right? And they give you options on who you want to be the board member, leader. So who own the corporations? All I know is the Bar Association is 100% tied to the Queen. Goes back to the beginning of Freemasons. Yeah, and he with them. Crown and the Pope, the Vikings and Anunnaki. People say the Anunnaki, but I never seen the Anunnaki. You know what I mean? Like I mean, I never seen them. I mean, I never seen them. That's a huge. I understand the Book of Enoch. But I'm just saying, I'm just trying to figure out who own these corporations, who own them. Who own them, who own these corporations. You know, I'm really watching these comments. You're not supposed to. Nah, but see, Isaiah, the book of Enoch speak about the Anunnaki. So if you go into the definition if you go into the book of Enoch, they're still here. But Elizabeth one made claim to own the whole world. You know what? Optimus Prime, salute. I think that's what it is. I think the Queen owned the whole world. I think the Queen owned the whole world. Because they put it in books and they make it very common sense for us to see it. The kingdom of darkness is God of this age until Jesus come back to earth. What What that mean? What that mean? IMF. What that mean? I think the Queen run the world. I think the Queen run the world, and I think the Pope has something to do with running the world. So, all 1300s. Wow, Queen goes back 3,000 years. Yeah, yeah. I'm just trying to figure out because at first these queens they conquered. I went to South America, right? And do you guys know the queen is on the money in South America? Like the queen is on the money, the dollar bills out there. The queen is on it. For those who never been in South America, the queen is on the dollar bills. The Pope is the Roman Empire. Norway powerful also, aka the world. I mean, yeah. So she's powerful. She's owned the money, like she's owned the actual money in South America. Was like the Honduras area, the Belize area. She's owned the money. She's actually owned the dollar bills. So I mean, I'm just trying to figure out, because the United States for a fact is a corporation. That's a fact. That's why it's in the District of Columbia, because the corporation is being ran out of the District of Columbia. It's documented that the church DNA of a serpent. Well, it was queens before her. It was queens before her. But that family though, they have been around. That'll be the question. How long have that family been around? You know, do you guys think that royal family is more powerful than the Rockefellers, the Bilderbergs? Do you guys think that family is more popular than those families? The Rothschilds? I think so too. Catherine, I think so too. I really believe so too. Because because all presidents have to kiss her on the hand. They have to bow their head and kiss her on the hand. That's kind of respect the Queen command. So, thank you guys for locking in with me. And the others are the daughters. Thank you guys for locking in with me. And I just want to get on here and let you guys know the past 2 years has been very, very critical. Very critical. And I'm gonna start the next live off when I get back on here with that question asking for answers. Do you guys know, have the queen conquered the world? Have the world been conquered by the queen? Do she own everything? Does she own everything? And it's just that she got people, presidents in place, you know, that 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 work for her within the countries. And you know, yeah. That's how I'm gonna start the next live off. Salute this cut. I'm out of here. Thank you guys for rocking with me.